Welcome to another session on finding clarity and direction. This time it is through an emotion. Therefore, I have titled this as Story of Anger. In our session today, meet Michelle and Misbah. Now, these two individuals, I have actually individually coached both of them in two different respective coaching assignments. But in our session, I have combined this today to let you know that anger is one emotion where both of them found themselves stuck, regardless of the stature they were in their professional life, and how, during our coaching assignment, through a use of a powerful tool, they were able to find a way out. Or rather, I should say, they were able to find clarity and direction with the help of the right regulation of this emotion called anger. So let's first begin by understanding that both Michelle and Misbah, there were few very common themes running for each one of them. Both are working professionals, both at very senior levels, but both of them, due to various other issues, had anger as an issue which was taking a toll on their physical health and mental health. They were not very productive at their work, even though they had a lot of potential. But anger now was the biggest obstacle, which was keeping both of them stuck. And as if it was like due to anger, they were creating a hindrance for their own growth. My coaching assignment with both of them goes back a few years ago. For Michelle and Misbah, it was an individual one. I mean, I didn't coach them together, but fundamentally, uh, one common thing that I kind of used for both of them was this concept of understanding and exploring the three levels of anger. Because the common theme that ran for both of them as senior professionals, finding themselves stuck in their respective role, not really being able to grow in their professional space and also in their personal space, having health issues. Even though we did various other, we together, I co-created with Misbah a different story and with Michelle a different one. But this was something fundamentally that I used with both of them. This is a very simple and a very powerful tool. I am a big advocate of simplicity because we oftentimes don't realize that the most simple things actually has profound ways of helping us. So in both the cases, since I've used this one common tool, I picked this up today for this particular session to help you understand how two diverse cases found help through one common tool. What you see on your screen now is this tool. The notion here and my intent, both for Michelle and Misbah, was to first help both of them understand that anger and its intensity varies. Plus, before they even learn how to manage anger, they need to understand that what level are they operating out of it. This is the first fundamental basic way to learn about this complex and misunderstood emotion called anger. So friends, what you see on your screen are the three levels. At the first level, you will find that anger is not very strong. It's just where one start to feel agitated and bothered. It's a regular course of life, and we actually all go through this. But at level 1, when someone is at level 1 of anger, the most interesting part here is we don't lose our rational mind and still continue to communicate well and think rationally. So when you are angry at level 1, it means your emotional brain is not hijacked. You can still think rationally and you communicate well. You can reason out. Moving to level 2, this is a level where the anger now starts to affect your thinking. Also, a bit of your listening skill goes a little off the track. It becomes difficult for anyone operating at level 2 to express themselves well. And this is a level which usually is an alarm signal. At the third level, this is where a person enters the danger zone. Here, the person can no longer think rationally, and it might get manifested in a violent behavior, such as saying hurtful things or showing physical aggression or yelling. It's like hysterical behaviors. The very idea I shared this tool with both Michelle and Misbah was to first help both of them understand usually at what level they operate at. Friends, anger is a very, very complex emotion, unlike other emotions. And therefore, at level 2 and 3, sometimes you also need external help to really regulate it, because it not just impacts your ability, your mind, but even your physical health is big time influence if you're constantly in a angry state, whether operating at level 2 or level 3. Level 1 is the normal course of life, so that's still good. So I gave this tool to both of them, explaining them what each level of anger means. Then I asked them to recollect any recent situation where they were angry, and then I asked them to describe it. Along with it, specifically come up with their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in that given situation. So here's what Misbah came up with. The incident he recollected and whatever he shared was from his professional life, where he had an argument with his boss, his supervisor, and you can read it on the screen, the whole story he's written, along with the thoughts, feelings, and the way he behaved when he felt this way. This one simple tool, where I asked him to recall and then label his thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, brought profound change in Misbah, because he felt as if for the first time he was able to see himself stepping out of his own story and understand what really was at play. There was a lot to Misbah's story which we won't be looking at because this is beyond the scope of this presentation. But what I really want to bring your attention to is anger has many layers. And Misbah, when he got the recent episode that he shared here, he himself put himself into the radar of level 2. And he not only understood that at what level was he operating out, but he also understood the consequence of being at this level and the toll it was taking on his mind and body. Now let's look at Michelle's case. I asked her to do the same and she came up with this results. In fact, when Michelle shared this story with me, She was very emotional that day, a bit choked. I allowed her, gave her space to even cry for some time, because crying it's a relief, and we one don't really need to be ashamed of crying. And I said, fine, go ahead, because the moment she wrote and later on read the whole thing and got in touch with her core inner self, her behaviors, her feelings, it gave her new insights, but it pointed her toward something so deep, which anyways, I'm not including here in this particular session. All I'm trying to tell you is this fundamental tool helped a person not just understand the intensity of anger that she was operating out of, but indicated and redirected her to the very cause of it, which was buried in her past. This is a rough work that I did with both of them, and I'm just reproducing it here to let you all know that anger at level 1 is normal, friends. So we all go through situations in our life which we may not like or agree with, and we have this emotion of anger for some time, and every emotion has a cycle. It goes up, it stays there, and it dissipates. But normal levels are fine. We all go through it. But level 2, if you find yourself operating at level 2 or level 3, where the mind is hijacked by the emotional mind, our thinking capacity is restricted, which impacts our thoughts, behaviors, and feelings, is on account of unresolved issues we've been carrying from our past for a long, long time. So if you find yourself at level 2, like when I asked Misbah, and he said, no, I think I'm at level 2, there was a lot more. We then dig deep into it. And for Michelle, she said she was at level 3 based on her behavior and her yelling. She had a lot of trauma from her past. So friends, when you ever feel that you're not really able to understand where your anger is at, you can also use this tool and get a clear view of whether you're at level 1, 2, or 3. And if you are at level 2 or 3, then I would urge that you need support, because anger which is unresolved, which stays and start to manifest into behaviors that harm both your body and mind, would need an immediate help to pull you out of it and move you through towards something better, both for your body and mind and for your entire being. So use this tool, understand which level you're operating out of, and if you feel you're constantly staying at level 2 or level 3, seek help. I have included in this video a very powerful workbook. So you'll find the link to download that workbook in the description box of this video, which explains, it's called the Anger Reflection Journal, and it's a very powerful one, and it has some set of questions. You can take a copy of it, do it at your own pace, and understand this often misunderstood and complicated emotion called anger. Present day today, both Misbah and Michelle are now living a very tranquil and a calm life with a lot of inner peace. Now, this was not a result of just knowing what level of anger they were at, because, as I mentioned earlier, there was a lot of work we did together with various other tools, deep diving, and coming to the stage. So if you feel you would also like to get to this phase, a tranquil mind, a healthy body, and a healthy mind, I am eager to meet you in our next coaching session. Here are the coordinates. You will also find a link where you can apply and enroll. And let's get to understand this complicated emotion and promote our mental health and well-being. Thank you.